Everybody always had their, oh, you're from Orange County, always the assumption of what it is, Reagan country, especially at that time in the 80s. And, it's just the perception of what it's like here. And why would we, and the assumption that we're all wealthy or that we're rich or that we, live in nice homes and all this other stuff. And I go, there are places that are very difficult to live in. And there is a lot of poverty. There is, it's not all what you think it is. And not all of us are conservative. We can be a little more progressive, or we have other views that are different from what the assumption would be from someone living in Orange County. But then we had great bands coming out of this, because they were the voices that weren't being heard. That's where you had the adolescents, where Black Flag, even though they came from more Redondo Beach, Hermosa, that area, but they at least were able to give voice to the fact that no, it's not what you think it is here. There is still oppression here. There still is underrepresented people, different socioeconomic statuses, and all that, and you could hear that in their music. And just the music was fun, you could dance to it, and actually you could dance to it sometimes, but just the energy from it, the feeling you got when you were at a club, and seeing your friends and seeing the bands perform. My girlfriend's dad, Colleen's dad, like I said, she's my oldest friend. I've known her since I was 15. Her dad worked at that time, now it's Raytheon. And he worked the night shift. So he would have to be there by 4. And so what he would do is he would drop us off in front of the whiskey and just leave us there, because then he would pick us up after the show, because he was off by 11 midnight. And never said a word to us about it, because he was there a couple times and there were riots going on. It was the dead Kennedys, I remember that. And Sham 69, we were playing the whiskey. And when he came, there was a riot going on. He was across the street, there was a gas station. He was just sitting there eating an ice cream cone, and we just like, hey Dad, got in the car, never said a word to us. He would just pick us up and take us back. But I would go to shows, the Cuckoo's Nest. I went there a couple times. But I primarily, because by that time somebody had a car, we were mainly going up to LA, up to, the Whiskey, the Hong Kong, Madame Wong's, the Starwood. Starwood would have the Death to Disco nights. We would go to those and just dance, ironically. Yeah, there were times, again, it was the group thing where we kind of had to be together sometimes. We'd go, you couldn't even walk down Huntington Beach Pier without getting, stuff thrown at you, people chasing you, and getting called names and all that. So being with other people made it a little safer sometimes. I know my one girlfriend, Susan, before she had a car, she'd be waiting at a bus stop. The Huntington Beach police came and took pictures and started keeping like dossiers of all the punks. And so they would take their names down, and so they'd have something, like they thought we were gangs or something like that. So no, there were times when it could be difficult. Sometimes it was funny. I remember being at South Coast Plaza and seeing a mother pull her child away from me as I was walking by. And, but I always made a point of being very polite. Thank you, please, just to kind of show, we might look a little different, but it doesn't mean we're different. We supported each other. There were times we fought, just like any friends. There might have been months where we didn't talk to each other. A lot of people went through substance abuse concerns, difficult relationships, sometimes when police had to be called. But no matter what, we still support each other, because we had that common thread and bond, and that was going through this whole, and I hate using that word scene, but the whole thing together, because it was very different from what other things had happened before, coming, especially when we look at coming from the hippie peace movement, and then it seems like something that someone thinks is violent, but it wasn't. It was more of an awakening to question that. On the other hand, we were strong women. We still had a problem saying the F word to you, and I still do it a lot. I think we did find our voices, and that's probably the one thread I see, that a lot of us did still find a voice to do something, to be something, and that underlying strength with the music. It was still that they were helping us find that voice. And that's probably one thread I did see. Yeah, we might have had this issue or that issue or gone through different phases, because I know some colleagues went through different phases of their lives. But ultimately, we all found that voice, that we could be strong women, we could voice our opinions. But we all did something.